Welcome back to The Unknown Angler. Today we're going to be tying the Margarita Clouser, also known as the Tutti Frutti Clouser or even the Cotton Candy Clouser. We'll be using a size 2 regular shank saltwater hook. In this case it's a 2546 Daiichi and some chartreuse 140 denier thread. Start your thread at the hook eye and wrap it back about 1/3 to halfway on the hook shank. It's extremely important to leave enough area for your head on this fly. At right around the 1/3 point, tie in a set of lead eyes, preferably small. You can do small or medium, but small is what I prefer to use. Use X-wraps and under-wraps to tie in the lead eyes. Now take your thread and wrap back towards the hook bend. Don't wrap into the hook bend. You don't want your bucktail pushing down and angling down. You want it to go straight out. And this is going to be a base for your bucktail so it doesn't slide around the hook while you're tying it on. And then you just want to wrap your thread back to the eye. Now we're going to tie in some bucktail, pink and chartreuse. Nothing subtle about this fly at all. To tie in the chartreuse bucktail, first measure out about 3 inches of chartreuse bucktail. That's how long I want the fly to be, almost exactly 3 inches long. And then just tie in the butt ends in front of the lead eyes. Now don't cut anything off and advance your thread to the back of the lead eyes and work down the body, holding up the back end of the bucktail. What this will do is it'll make the bucktail sit really nicely on top of the hook. It won't splay out around the hook. What I'm trying to do is make sure we get a nice straight bucktail that's even across the top side of the hook all the way out to the back end. Don't advance your thread forward, leave it at the back of the fly, and now go to the very front of the fly and pick up the butt ends of the bucktail. Pull them straight up with your fingers perpendicular to the hook and cut them straight across right into the hook eyes. What that'll do is it'll give you a nice angled effect and it'll give you a nice little nub at the front of the hook, which will create a nice head. Now go back to the tying thread and tie in some Bill's body braid at the back of the fly. Any body braid will do. This is the pearl. Now wrap the body braid forward and finish off by tying the body underneath. Not on top of the fly, but underneath the lead eyes. Now make a quick whip finish so we can start to add a little epoxy on the body. Now when you're adding this epoxy, only add it to the body braid. Don't go into the head of the fly. We're going to add some there, and don't go onto the back of the fly. And that is where the remaining bucktail is over the top of the eyes. We'll take care of that in just a minute. Once you're done putting on the UV epoxy, cure it with the flashlight. And grab your tying thread so we can tie in some crystal flash. I take 3 full lengths of crystal flash and then I fold it in half over the thread and I tie it across the bottom of the hook. If you have a rotary vise, just flip the hook over. If you don't, just flip the hook over in your vise and put it upside down now. Once you have the crystal flash tied in, we're going to tie in some pink bucktail. Just take the length of the pink bucktail and match it up with the chartreuse bucktail on the bottom. And then hold it down with your opposite hand and wrap in a few quick wraps at the front. Make sure to cinch down pretty tight. Now make sure that pink bucktail is evenly distributed across both sides of the hook. Use your bodkin, use your fingers, do it whatever way you'd like to do it, but just make sure you have an equal amount on both sides and it's all the way across evenly on the bottom side of the hook. Now grab the butt ends of the bucktail on the bottom side of the hook and pull them straight up, perpendicular to the hook, and just cut straight across. What this will form is a very nice wedge that'll finish off the head really nicely. Now just add a drop of really thin super glue so it soaks into the butt ends at the very head. This will make sure this fly won't come apart. Finish by wrapping a smooth head and then whip finish on top of that. Now you're ready for a generous amount of UE epoxy over the head area and also the bucktail that's over the top of the lead eyes. This will keep the fly from pulling apart. This fly is almost bomb-proof if you get it right, and it'll last for a lot of fish. This is a great little saltwater pattern, and I've used it a lot in Florida to pick up specks and mangrove snappers and jacks and all kinds of other. I specifically tie it in a size 2. It's a small fly. Like I said, I try to keep it about 3 inches long, and I also like the small eyes on it. I wouldn't go any further than medium. If you want to put medium on it to get it down a little deeper, that's fine. But I'd stick to the small if you can. Anyway, see you next time.